But with our increased lifespan comes increased opportunities for things to go wrong, like addictions. A 1994 study on abuse reported that each year $20 billion will be spent in hospitals treating addictions and substance abuse. Perhaps one of the most severe and ironic cases of addiction is right here in Chicago. Meet Professor Donald Hedeker. He is one of the nation's leaders in the field of biostatistic research. He's published numerous articles on addictions and is widely respected in the world of academia. But this university professor has a dirty little secret of his own.
I'm out of control. I'm out of control.
Every day for the last 2 years, Professor Hedeker has been severely addicted to polka music.
It is somewhat embarrassing, I have to confess.
It started for Don just like all the other addictions.
I started dabbling in polka actually in high school. My parents are European, they're from Germany, and I would hear polka music in the house.
Don resisted his temptations for over 20 years, and then one day, he started buying polka albums.
I didn't think I would get in too deep, but slowly but surely, I've bought more and more polka albums. I now have over 400 albums in my collection, and it's a need that I have to, I just can't stop.
But this was only the beginning. He took his battle public by forming his own polka band, defiantly called the Polkaholics. We tracked down Don at the Zakopane Lounge on Chicago's west side to see him in action. And we warn you, what we are about to show you is graphic and disturbing. Don's behavior while hopped up on polka music was at times bizarre.
I just love polka. I can't explain it. Polka's got the 2-beat, because rock's got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Polka 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's an immediate attraction.
And obviously Don is not alone. Throughout Chicago, Hedeker's Polkaholics have been packing bars with other addicts who are looking for a fix.
Clearly this is the addiction of the new millennium. I think it's sneaking up on us faster and faster, and we have no known treatment.
Dr. Robin Mermelstein is the director of the Center of Health Behavior Research. She has worked with Professor Hedeker for years as a colleague.
Well, it's a pretty severe addiction at this point, and it is starting to interfere with his everyday life and his other obligations that he needs. And he has a couple of options, and mostly I think we're, at this point, in the turn of the century, thinking about the notion of harm reduction. So maybe he doesn't need to give it up totally, but reduce to a level which it's tolerable and manageable.
Most experts believe that with proper help from professionals and family, addicts can overcome compulsions. Professor Hedeker believes that nearly 5% of the general population are polka heads. The professor has depended heavily on his family for support. His parents were dumbfounded when they learned of his addiction.
And you yourself don't agree with it, and you're supposed to support your kids.
Right.
And how do you handle that? Yeah. It was hard. It's hard.
For Daniel and Lena Hedeker, it's been a long 2 years.
Where did this all go wrong?
All of a sudden he came home and he says he's playing polka music. I don't know what really happened, how he got into that, but that's what now it's an addiction. He still plays punk rock, but not like polka. Oh, he's all worked up.
I was worried about him getting into drugs.
Yeah. Both parents have wondered what they may have done wrong.
I wanted him to be musically interested and maybe to be in music, but not to this extent.
Yeah.
You know, not
so far out.
Yeah, so far out, so far different.
Don's addiction surfaced shortly after his marriage to the love of his life, Vera. His addiction has sent her life into a whirlwind.
What are the really bad days like?
Polka music throughout the house. Upstairs, downstairs, in every room. He's running around dancing to it, singing along, and it's just too much.
His hands get shaky, and
yeah.
It's almost like he's foaming at the mouth.
Yes. And it's kind of embarrassing when people come over, you know, it's just you don't know what to do. So I stopped inviting people over. I mean, we just live here hiding with his problem.
But for Don, this polka takes him to a whole new level. Are you high right now?
I'm polka high. You know, it's like in heaven there's no beer. I'm almost there, so I don't want to get that high, but I'm pretty high.
All right. And while Don loves the high, He adds that when he comes down, the reality of his addiction is surprising.
Sometimes I see the videos or the photos, I say, like, is that really me? And it's hard to imagine it, but once I get into that outfit and get into the music, it takes over.
You're out of your mind.
I'm out of control. I'm out of control.
He's hooked, and there's no known cure.
It's hooked me that much. I'm willing to die for polka.
All right, we love it. We love the polka.
Professor Hedeker has recently become a tenured professor of biostatistics and is eligible for entrance into the Polka Hall of Fame in the year 2017. He's already marked the date on his calendar.
Up next in our Millennium Survivor story. It's enough dynamite to blow up a 3-bedroom house, so why is this 57-year-old man sitting on it? The explosive answer is coming up next.